First off, I loved the film so much. Thank you for your truthful and vulnerable performances. They took my breath away. I can only imagine how cathartic the experience of making this was, and to be able to so deeply explore creativity in such an honest way. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
The film beautifully reminds us of the ebbs and flows of the creative process and the importance of rediscovering the joy in what we love. How did you work together to kind of bring that rediscovery to life? Because it felt incredibly organic and intimate watching Dandelion and Casey kind of find that joy through collaboration.
I mean, it kind of was just organic. I
Mm.
mean, the camera just kept rolling, and I know it kind of just was. I mean, we were finding it ourselves, and it just all came together. I think that it's that universal, magical connectivity that music has that can't really pretend. And if you do pretend, you can see it. So it was all very quite authentic and real, and what you see, it was just kind of coming out of us and coming up.
Yeah, it was beautiful how the camera just sort of, it felt like you were a fly on the wall watching these 2, almost like a docuseries in a sense. It felt so intimate, which is my favorite type of filmmaking, where you feel like, "Maybe I shouldn't be here watching this," but, it's a gift to be able to. Um, Kiki, I know this experience was so personal to you, filming in your hometown of Cincinnati and sharing your love for music. Now that you've gifted yourself and us with your singing and songwriting, how has your perspective of creative possibilities for yourself shifted or changed?
I mean, it's definitely expanded. Expanded in one way. Like, I grew up wanting to be a singer and an actress. That's what I always said. But the performing arts school that I attended in Cincinnati, I got into instrumental music and drama, but didn't get into vocal music. And so that's kind of when I started to tell myself, like, oh, maybe I should just focus on acting. And so it felt very divine to, like, that my acting has brought me back to my singing, and that happened in my hometown, which is where all of these dreams began for me. And so I think I'm just in a place as an artist now of, like, well, I can't hide it anymore. Like, people people are gonna know, like, you sing, you write music, and I'm just gonna, continue to seek out more opportunities where I can share more of that.
Oh my gosh, like, because I've been a fan of your acting for a long time now, and t that for you to share this part of yourself, this creative, beautiful part of yourself, um, it was magical.
Thank you.
Thomas, I thought you did such an exceptional job at anchoring Casey from a place of pain and heartache, which never excused his behaviors or choices, but allowed for compassion. Can you talk about why it was important for you to kind of lead with compassion instead of judgment in your performance?
I'm very much of the belief that someone does something, if someone hurts someone else, there's almost 100% chance that they've been hurt before. And so they're a certain way because of something else. And so I think we need to be compassionate with that, understand that, but that doesn't exempt responsibility. You're still responsible. I think yeah, I think we need to introduce a lot more compassion and understanding as to why people are the way they are, and take a look at ourselves and be like, do I have the propensity to do that? If I went through the same experiences that you've been through, would I be different, or would I do this? Do you know? So I think, I think the world just needs a lot more compassion.
Oh my
First of
God.
all, we need to be more compassionate to ourselves,
Mm,
and then hopefully that'll go out into the world and to other people. Easier said than done, but I do believe that.
absolutely. Completely agree. I think that that's why storytelling and films like yours is such a powerful tool to kind of create empathy, um, because through your performances, you allow us to empathize with these characters. Like, yes, Casey, we want to kind of strangle him at the end, but we also, you know, we understand that it's coming from this deep ache of
Mm.
him not allowing himself to kind of follow something he loves so deeply. And I think that ache is, like I said, it allows us to empathize. But I think in a different movie with a different performance, perhaps that wouldn't be true. But through the nuances of your performances, we're allowed to kind of hold on to those complexities and really, it becomes a really reflective experience watching this film.
And I think, like you said, the intimacy and the way it's filmed is you're just there. It's so like so intimate, so intense.
Yeah, it must have been so freeing as actors, as performers, as artists to sort of have that kind of stage to be able to explore that intimacy, that emotional intimacy in such a vulnerable way. Um,
Yeah.
you know, through this direction, I can only imagine how freeing that felt.
Yeah, it
I think
was
at
that
one
was
point
oh, go ahead.
no, no, you go.
Um, what was I about to say? That was one of the lovely things that, Nicole gave us was space to be that vulnerable. And I think, it really started like with conversations that Thomas and I had about what being able to be a part of a film like this meant to us and what our own artistic journeys have been and where those connections are of like things that I wrestle with that Dandelion also wrestles with and things that Thomas wrestles with that he also sees Casey wrestling with and being able to feel safe enough with each other to then pour that into these characters and go on that journey and then have Nicole there around us just kind of like supporting that journey, supporting that all the organic things that were just happening. She wasn't really like, okay, this has to be like this, and like when he moves his hand here you move yours. Like it wasn't that. She really kind of would just start rolling and we could just see what happened between us.
Mm. And she'd get it as well. Like
Mhm.
at one point, I was saying, and the camera lens was touching my cheek. So it was just like that. It was mad, but it wasn't off-putting. It was a really, honestly, like you say, a cathartic experience. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, I can imagine too. It's like when such a safe, trustworthy like set is created, like you're like, you know what? Put the camera right there. Like you trust it. You trust it. Like it's all part of the process. No, but I think it's so rare. I mean, I think we've seen films that are like the success story, the artist's success story, and that feels like a blueprint. And then it puts this immense, which can be so harmful because there's no path, there's no correct way. And with this film, you're really honing in on the importance of the process, and I think that that is so important for the artist, and it's incredibly inspiring, and there's a stillness in that that I think we forget in an industry that's like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's hustle. And to kind of take it back, to kind of ground it in this connection with oneself and rediscovery, I think is so important. And I think so many people, whether you're an artist or whatever you do in this life, whoever you are, is going to resonate with them. And it was just gorgeous. So thank you so much.
No, that was beautifully said. Do you want to do the rest of the interview?
I was like,
I mean, I could talk to you guys for hours. It's so cruel to me when, there's a time limit on these things, especially with the film as beautiful as yours. It's like,
Oh, that's so
wow,
kind of you,
thank
honestly.
you.
But yeah, you really
And
hit the nail on the head there
that
with
was
that.
it, yeah.
Yeah.